90s with Demolition and the Hart Foundation and, all the other great teams that were around back then. But right now, it's just in a lull. It's just in a lull. Mike, what do you think about the tag team division? I think it's kind of lame right now.
Yeah, you hit it on the head, Jimmy. And by the way, there's just too much individual talent at this point. They can't focus on tag team wrestling anyway. So, you know what? With tag teams, it's hit or miss. Like you guys said, it's hot for a little while, then it falls off, then it gets hot again.
Right.
But I don't really have much to say on it. You guys nailed it on the spot.
Right. Oddly enough, Bianca and Jade were a pretty hot tag team, but they are, obviously not now.
Well, they're going to win it back Friday night.
That's
wrestling,
right.
They're going to win it back Friday night. So, we weren't really wrong, guys, when they went
we were kind of right. It's funny.
We were just early. That's it. So SummerSlam, one of the things it's been noted for, especially recently, is, and look, wrestling in general a lot of times is about returns and debuts and things like that. But SummerSlam in particular, the last couple of years has had huge returns, and they generally have more than one, whereas other shows typically will have one big one or something like that.
Right.
I think back to a couple of years ago, we had Becky Lynch, which was kind of expected, and then you got a surprise Brock Lesnar at the end. I mean, that's monster. Last year we had Bayley, or no, 2 years ago it was Bayley. I can't remember. I can't keep up.
That's all right.
But we have some huge, returns like that.
Yeah.
I think all of us are expecting the big Roman Reigns return, which we'll get into more later when we talk about the main event. But I'm curious as to your thoughts. If there is a second return, who do you think maybe could be?
Mike, you want to tackle that one first? My brain hurts.
I hear you. I think I'm pretty sure it's going to be Jimmy Uso, and I don't know if that's really a big return anyway. So, I have to assume at the main event with Cody Rhodes, Jimmy Uso will get involved one way or the other. I can't really think of anybody else making a return, but that would be my call.
The only one I thought of, and this was more a couple of weeks ago, at least to get someone from the women back, the big name that hasn't been back, well, the biggest name would be Charlotte Flair. She could come back and not wrestle.
Okay.
But the one that I thought of was Alexa Bliss, but I think they're going to tie her into the Wyatt thing, and that's not going to be a part of SummerSlam. So I almost am going into this hoping they have someone in the wings I'm not thinking about, and I can legitimately be surprised. But
yeah, I'm at a loss. I certainly don't want to see post-diet Chris Jericho show up.
Jera bloat.
I was thinking maybe the Ultimate Warrior may make a run, and I'm not so sure.
Wow. How's he pulling that off?
That would be terribly impressive.
Wait a minute. He's the sixth in the 6'6". This is just ridiculous. Boy, we have no feelings at all. We're awful. Anyway.
God. All right. Well, let's get into the card because it is a 7-match card, so we probably need to get a few in this segment.
Sure.
No real particular order here. Let's cover this one first. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre.
That's right to the heart.
With Seth Rollins as the guest referee in his little referee blouse that he wore Monday night.
Referee blouse.
His puffy shirt.
Whatever you want to call
Puffy shirt.
it.
It looked very Seinfeld puffy shirt, by the way. But
got to keep him dressing over the top.
Guys, I've heard a lot, and I think it would play, especially with how big a fan Punk was of Bret Hart here. This has a lot of vibes of 97 Shawn, Bret, Undertaker. Shawn was the special guest referee, Undertaker, Bret. It kind of started the Shawn Bret thing that, of course, ended in the Montreal Screwjob.
Right.
What do we expect in this match? It's the only match that's not for a title on this card. What do we expect here?
I expect Rollins to DQ both of them and ruin everything, and then they can all kill each other at Bad Blood or whatever it is coming up. You would think that McIntyre finally gets a win, but is that really, what does that do for the direction of Punk? This is Punk's first in-ring match in 10 and a half years. So, to me, Rollins is the one who's going to mess everything up. He's just going to mess everything up. Either he causes the winner to win by helping them, or why would he help either of them? At some point they may both turn on him. I have no idea. This is a really hazy one because Rollins is the referee.
Yeah.
I tend to think, Mike sometimes thinks about not a definitive finish, and this might be one of those not a definitive finish where they're going to parlay this into the three of them having a triple threat match because nobody likes nobody here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's where I'm at with it. That's my observation. Mike, your observation?
Jimmy, perfect. Really, seriously, that was so spot on in so many ways. Punk is in this match.
I don't like all this agreeing we're doing.
No. Punk is in this match just to make sure that CM Punk makes it through the match. That's the, you know, did I say Punk? I'm just Rollins. I'm sorry. Rollins is in this match to make sure that Punk makes it through the match.
Okay.
If something happens to Punk, he gets hurt, you still got Rollins, you know, Drew McIntyre. I agree, Jimmy. They both turn on Rollins, and it's just a double DQ. And if all is well, we have a three-way go at it.
And they all have to be separated while they're brawling. We're looking for the right. Yeah, that makes sense to me. It does. I don't think either one of them benefits from a loss. I don't think either one of them should take a loss. It's quite honestly.
I think it's clear this is not going to be a one-match blow-off. And I think you're right. I think Bad Blood is where it's going to end in Hell in a Cell.
Isn't that perfect? Because they all have bad blood. Let them
100%.
kill each other.
Taylor Swift's going to sing the song for each of them walking to the ring.
You want to see Bad Blood? Say Taylor Swift again. Oh, my God, please.
Just wait till the football season.
I got a pickleball for her. Anyway,
I would say, I would say instead of a double DQ, I think Seth pulls a Shawn Michaels. I think Drew is going after Seth. Seth basically tries to take out Drew, misses, takes out Punk. Drew gets the win.
Sure.
And it can set up.
So there is a 1, 2, 3 here?
I think so, because I do think this is going to be multiple matches.
This is ridiculous.
I did see the puffy shirt there from Seth Rollins. There's no way he could do a 1, 2, 3 with those shoulders that he's got there.
It's ridiculous.
He's so over the top.
He looks like William Regal if he wore a shirt.
Let's do one more quick before the break. I want to get into this one. Women's championship here. I don't remember which one it is, but one of the women's championships. Bailey versus, as my friend Cornette calls her, Refrigerator Jax. Nia Jax, the queen of the ring.
Refrigerator Jax.
It's a classic.
Here we go.
Apparently this fridge has been empty often.
Guys, I know this is a work, but this one has gotten a little shooty.
That joke wasn't a work.
This one's gotten a little bit shooty, and Bailey calling out Nia for being reckless and clumsy and injuring people, which she absolutely is.
She is.
What do we see here? I mean, this is probably the popcorn match of the card, but it is for a title.
Well, this is an interesting one. When you think about it, if you're Tiffany Stratton, do you really want Nia winning that title? No. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm observing to myself, that Tiffany somehow is going to try to help Nia, but is going to goof up.
Yeah.
And Bailey, or purposely screw Nia to keep the belt on Bailey, because the odds are much better for her to cash in, at least on a physical observation, with Bailey.
Yeah. So
I feel like Bailey's going to get out of there in one piece, or Tiffany's going to get out of there with the belt. It's going to be one or the other.
Could be.
Mike?
Jimmy, this one I'm going to have to disagree with you, right? Only on this. I think it's time for Nia to get her flowers.
Okay.
And it makes sense that Tiffany would try to cash in, but heel doesn't really work. So I think the WWE is trying to push Tiffany towards a face. I don't know if it'll work.
I don't think it's
so.
gonna work.
What I think is, I think Nia defeats Bailey, and then you hang around with this whole relationship with Nia and Tiffany until Tiffany finally turns on her mentor. Right, the old wrestling round. I mean, that's the way I'm going to go with it. Right. A lot of people are predicting Tiffany's going to cash in on Nia when Nia beats Bailey, or the other way, if Bailey beats Nia, Tiffany's going to cash in. I don't see it. It's too early. Where do you go then? You eliminate Nia and Bailey out of the equation. You know what I'm saying? So I think we got Nia winning this belt. And again, guys, we got to be careful. I bet you when we go through this, everybody's going to lose their titles, and I can't see that happening at SummerSlam.
That's why I'm going to take Bailey, because I think we're going to have a lot of title changes around this, but that makes perfect sense.
Hey, you guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. More from Coach Brian Haddad, Pharaoh, and Monty when we return, previewing SummerSlam in Cleveland.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Paul Feinbaum Show.
Cowbells and swamps, the Aggies romp, and Bevo's in the SEC. How'd you like it, Paul?
Yeah, I'm surprised we ended up keeping Taylor's version over yours.
Thanks. What would you rate my song out of 10?
I'd go 10 out of 10.
Thanks, Paul.
Paul Feinbaum, weeknights, 6 to 10 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Wednesday. Some clouds tonight with a light breeze around 5 miles per hour coming out of the south, and look for the low to be 82. Tomorrow morning, there will be possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine with the temperature reaching 88. A possibility of thunderstorms and partly sunny in the afternoon and evening with the high of 91. This weather is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Hey there, folks. Looking for a place that feels like home right in the heart of Panama City? Well, look no further than Charlie Corm's Place at their new location on 15th Street. Charlie Corm's is not just a place, it's an experience. Imagine cozy corners, friendly faces, and the aroma of delicious dishes that'll make your taste buds dance. From sunrise breakfast to late night bites, Charlie Corm's on 15th Street has it all. Charlie Corm's Place on 15th Street is now offering exclusive weekday lunch specials. Visit Charlie Corm's Place on 15th Street. Look for the giant mural.
Shop on, Braves fans.
That is gone!
Since 2017, your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. It's the Afternoon Underdogs. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida 104.3, Panama City 101.9, in Port St. Joe. Time flies by so fast, especially when we're here talking wrestling with Coach Brian Haddad, Pharaoh, and Monty. So we're going to get right back into it. Coach Brian Haddad, what match did we leave off with?
We got 5 more matches. We just talked Bailey. Let's stay with the women then and go to the other women's match. Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley.
The battle for Dom.
Let's just go.
Mike, take this one. I know how much you love these two.
Oh, my God, this is going to be the best match of the night. Here's my thoughts real quick. Liv's definitely retaining.
Yep.
I really think Liv has been in Judgment Day this whole time. That's going to get revealed. Finn Balor and Dirty Dom will allow Liv to hold on to that title, and allowing Rhea to be a full-fledged face, even though she is now.
Hayes is going to hate this, but I have to agree with you 1,000%. I'm sorry to be so agreeable today, Hayes.
Yeah, I do, man. And I'm going Rhea Ripley here, so that's my observation.
That would be
and it's
great.
just because of the observation that I'm doing when I'm watching.
I'll be honest. I agree as well. This is one that is so predictable, but needs to be. Like, it needs to go predictable. Dom needs to turn. Like, it just needs to happen.
Yeah, I love what Liv is doing. I've become a big Liv Morgan fan during all of this, and I was not a fan at all.
That's right.
Now I am.
She's done a wonderful job in this
done
role.
awesome.
Well, speaking of things that need to happen, L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Guys, if not now, when? He's got Logan Paul. This could be a sneaky fun match here, but L.A. Knight has to go over here, doesn't he?
You know what my problem is? My problem is that I love Logan Paul.
Oh, he's great.
That's my problem. I also feel like Logan Paul is worth more to the company than L.A. Knight, no matter how popular he is right now. So this one's killing me.
Yeah.
I do not want to see L.A. Knight win. I want to see Logan Paul continue with the championship. And again, we got to be careful here. Otherwise, everyone's taking titles at SummerSlam. What is left for L.A. Knight if he doesn't, though? Probably. What is left?
I know.
So, under necessary booking rules, yes, I agree that L.A. Knight should walk out of there with the title. But I got to admit, the Vince McMahon in me doesn't want to do that at all. I don't think so. What about you, Monty?
We're talking business. Logan Paul has to retain. Look, Logan Paul loses that title. If he goes to Cody, makes sense.
Right.
But Randy Orton's waiting in the rings and in the wings, and Cody Rhodes is running out of time. The Rock is just a few months away. So there's no room for Logan Paul unless he's next up.
Right.
So I can't imagine LA Knight wins this title, and it doesn't make any sense to me. I got to stick with Logan Paul.
Right.
But I can't say I'm right. The business point of me says go with the money.
Right.
Logan Paul is money.
Yeah, he is. He's great.
All right. Now, this one runs the risk of getting Jimmy off of wrestling forever if the result doesn't go the right way.
Another one?
What?
Sami Zayn,
Wait a
Braun
minute. Wait a
Breaker.
minute. My partner is the one who's always threatening to stop watching.
I think if Sami Zayn beats Braun again,
no,
you
I
will
quit.
walk
I'm
out.
done.
See,
I'm
that's
done.
what I mean.
Nope, I'm done. I'm joining Hayes' softball team.
There we go.
I'm never watching sports ever again. I'm done. No, this has to happen, bro.
Yes.
This has to happen. Okay, enough with Sami Zayn and his baked potato of a tummy. I'm done. All right.
He does seem to get a lot of chances at runs. Sami Zayn does.
He does.
Yeah.
I don't know who he's got nudies of. I'm like trying to figure it out. I'm like, Sami Zayn has been favored for years.
Yeah.
Is this all from the Knoxville payback? What is this?
Maybe that's how they keep Canada involved.
Oh, you got to give it to Breaker, please. Wow. That's pretty good, Hayes. Wow. Wait a minute. I didn't think about that.
David from the top rope. I like
more
that
to
one.
ponder. Fantastic. Aspirin, please. Yeah, Mike, they got to give it to Breaker. Please say yes.
Look, Triple H pulled a swerve on every one of us last Premium Live event. Yeah. There is zero, and I mean zero chance of Sami Zayn retaining.
That's right.
It is impossible.
That's right.
And I will say it right
continues.
Here we go.
Quit. I quit if Braun Breaker doesn't win it. I'm done, and I mean it. I'm serious.
What do you mean?
I might return as the man in the witness, but I quit as Mike Monson.
Wow, we both quit? Wow.
I think the story they're trying to tell is Braun is the upstart. He gets beat. He learns from it, comes back. Whether we like that story or not, it dovetails perfectly to, I agree, he has to win this
And
match.
let's not forget, they keep pushing Sammy. He's doing his comedy show at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So Sammy could go, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have partied all night. I didn't take him serious enough. Whatever.
What's the comedy show entail? He pulls flies out of his beard? I mean, what are we doing here? Oh, God. Please kill him, Braun. Thank you.
Here's another one that screams title change. I mean, there's a lot of those, and it should. The interesting thing, though, to consider, we go to Berlin in 3 weeks.
Right.
Damian Priest, who...
Yeah.
With a few little slip-ups here and there, I think he's actually raised his level. I like what he's done in the story.
Okay.
Versus clearly the next guy in line, Gunther. This is the guy.
Gunther better
So what? I mean, I know we want Gunther to win, but what do you think's going to happen?
I think they should place the strap around Gunther. And then when he goes over for the pay-per-view overseas, it's even better.
Yeah.
Gunther is owed this. You know, he put over Sami Zayn. Our previous rage was all because Gunther was told to drop the title to Sami Zayn, which made me barf back then when we were on the show.
That's right.
I was sickened by that. I'm like, Gunther winning King of the Ring. This is all meant to be. It's funny, I don't necessarily say that for Nia, but I do say that for Gunther.
Gunther sounds German anyways if you guys are going to Berlin.
He is.
Yeah, so there you go.
They're setting that up.
Yeah. Yep. He's old school. He's as great as they come. And I love, Mike, I know you probably chuckle at it, but I love it that every week he is doing this for the great sport of professional wrestling. Oh, my God. I love that. I love that.
The mat is sacred.
And just think, you guys are all upset when they changed his name from Walter. I heard that for months.
I was one of those.
I was one of those too, but real quick, I got to get this in. The reason why I was upset back then is that he wasn't portraying the kind of character he is now.
Yeah,
Gunther fits the character. We didn't see that in the beginning.
That's true.
We were not shown that in the beginning. All we knew about was the legendary independent wrestler named Walter, which fit and worked great, killed people.
Yeah.
When he came up as Gunther, it took a little while to get that German thing going.
That's right.
And once that got going, okay, now it makes sense. But of course, at the time, it didn't make sense.
Sure.
Vince knew what he was going to do. Once again, Vince is a genius.
Does Gunther go over here, Mike?
He goes over, and you got to make Priest the face, right? So you're going to see a Judgment Day split. So I was thinking, as you guys were talking, I'm thinking Priest gets involved in Rhea's match too, and somehow he gets hurt in that match and gives him a little bit of an excuse for Gunther just to pound on him. And, it makes Rhea and Damian Priest doesn't know what's going on. Rhea doesn't know what's going on, but Finn does. So does Dom and Liv.
Right.
So we got this whole story. Like you said, Coach, we know it's going to happen, but the story's got to be told. So Gunther goes over.
Quickly before we get into the main event, which obviously we'll talk a lot about, Gunther, obviously he's going to be a huge part of the Berlin show. He has the belt in our minds.
Right.
Who's a good person to put him up against? Do you just quickly throw Dragunov out there because they'll have just a belter, or what do we do? That's the part I can't figure.
Hulk Hogan comes back as Captain America.
Oh, my God. And I turn off the show. Get that out of here, brother. Oh, my God. Dragunov would be a good one, but is Dragunov already...
They've kind of pivoted him with Breaker, honestly, so I don't know.
Is he ready for a title shot already? That would weird me out.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? They might have to call on Randy Orton.
That could be an interesting.
And let me tell you, that would be.
Well, they've got the history with the
yes,
shoulders.
they do.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
they do.
Very good call.
He's on SmackDown, and they seem to be holding on to that, right?
Okay.
I think they're just going to feed Gunther everybody. That's all you're going to see. This guy's going to be defending this title on Raw, I think. He's going to be like that working champion that it originally was supposed to be.
Right.
Just feed him until CM Punk is ready for him. That's all.
That's good.
I can see that.
All right. So our main event, which is great in that I don't think any of us care all that much for the result of the match as much as we care for how the aftermath is going to play out.
Right.
Cody Rhodes, Solo Sikoa. I'm not sure that Solo couldn't go over here because they could tell the story about 5 different ways. And I'll be honest, I don't know what they're doing. But obviously the key is Roman Reigns' return. What do we think's going to happen?
Mike, take this one first.
All right, this is simple, guys. If that's the opening match, which it could be,
that's right.
Roman's not coming back to SummerSlam.
True.
If it's the last match, Roman's coming back. Right. Now, to your point, Coach, I totally agree with you. Roman comes back only if Solo wins the title. Why would Roman come back to help Cody, who he hates? That makes no sense. So Solo could go over here. You are right. But again, I would think they would save it for The Rock. So we'll know our answer at the beginning of SummerSlam. Opening match will tell us if Roman Reigns is actually coming back. And my bet is no, because it doesn't tell a story unless Solo wins the title. And they could give Roman a beatdown. There's no other reason for Roman to come out. So I say Cody retains, and it's the first match at SummerSlam. And unfortunately, the greatest wrestler of all time will not return at SummerSlam.
Wow. Jimmy's depressed now.
Cody Rhodes won the title in the most spectacular of fashions and storylines.
That's true.
Okay? To take the belt off Cody Rhodes now is premature, insanely premature. It would not feel nearly as complete as it should. Cody Rhodes should lose the belt in spectacular fashion, the same way he won it. All right? I've also got this thing about Roman Reigns getting his revenge on Cody Rhodes. Okay? So it bothers me to even think that Solo Sikoa would be able to beat Cody Rhodes. I think it would completely water down his already watered down title reign.
Right.
All right? I don't expect Roman there. I just don't think it's time yet. I mean, maybe it feels like time. I wouldn't be shocked to see Brock Lesnar, quite honestly. Where's Heyman? Yeah. What is going on with Heyman? And Mike loves it that I'm always obsessed with Heyman, but why shouldn't I be for the guy who usually represents the World Heavyweight Championship for the last 20 years?
And he's good, too.
I want to know where he is right now and what he intends to do about what happened with Solo.
The only way
Lesnar could really take care of that.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
That's my pick for coming back to Cleveland.
So
Brock Lesnar.
I see Roman's great return and revenge for everything that's been happening here, heading closer to WrestleMania next year than I do right now. I don't know why, but that's how I feel about it.
I think they could do it going into Survivor Series if they're going to position there being an internal struggle within the bloodline.
And don't forget, The Rock has got to come in here somewhere.
The only other way I see this going is if Solo loses and they do this epic beatdown on Cody and all of a sudden he runs out and then Roman saves Cody appearance-wise and then turns and just jackhammer clotheslines him, and he's back in the bloodline. That I don't know. That may be the only thing.
Great preview, guys. We're out of time.
How does it go that fast?
Hey, we'll get you guys back here. Maybe we'll review SummerSlam or maybe get another preview. And Coach Sam's Show is going to be live at 7. Inside Drive back at 11. We're back tomorrow at 4. Y'all have a great day.
Do you suffer from political talk radio fatigue?
We know that under the 49% rate, the U.S. economy is booming for
Then tune into the most fun and exciting new